right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast, NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here alone for a solo interview episode, talking with Dave DuFour about the Game 5 of the NBA Finals, which is coming up in just a few hours. Also talked a little bit about the Sixers and some Anthony Davis trade stuff. So hopefully if the Finals ends tonight, you'll still have a good reason to listen to me and Dave just to chat around. It's fun. It's enjoyable. You can see what we got wrong in our predictions if you're hearing this on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. If you are hearing this, whenever you hear this at least, you should know, announcement. If you're in the Nashville, Tennessee area, even, Kentucky, Alabama, anything, Atlanta, you're welcome to come. We're having a draft watch party, a Grizzlies draft watch party technically, but any NBA fans, you can come. We'll be watching the draft at the Mainstay from 6 to 9 p.m. on Thursday, June 20th. That's when the NBA draft is. We'll be giving away lots and lots of Grizzlies-themed prizes. So if you're a Sixers fan, you can still come, and you might end up with, a Jared Jackson Jr. little bobblehead. You might end up with a former Grizzly Marc Gasol figurine, that type of thing. It'll be fun. There will be a drink special. I think your first drink is going to be free, courtesy of us. So if you're a Grizzlies or NBA fan and you're in the Nashville area, please come to the Mainstay on Thursday, June 20th at 6 p.m. for an NBA draft watch party. Also, thank you to those of you who have written us a 5-star iTunes review in the last couple weeks. If you want some Fast Break Breakfast stickers, write a 5-star iTunes review, screenshot it, DM me on Twitter at FastBreakBreak, and say, hey, this is mine, and then I will send you some Fast Break Breakfast stickers for free. So do that. Thanks to those of you who have done it. Your stickers are in the mail. All right, now let's talk basketball with Dave DuFour. My guest today is the host of Nerder She Wrote and the Daily Ding podcast for The Athletic, and a return guest on Fast Break Breakfast, Coach Dave DuFour. Dave, how's it going?
It's great. I love that you just jumped right into the intro.
I would like everyone to know Dave and I had no small talk.
That's right. And I love this because I always give you a hard time.
Yeah, so everyone has heard everything.
For the fake small talk.
That's right. This is now real small talk. Dave, how are you? You haven't had power for a few days? Then you got power, then you lost AC, and you still found time to stand in line for Jurassic Park for the last 3 days.
Yeah, sure. No power for a couple days. We had a gnarly storm here. And then, AC died. And then I'm working on my iMac right now because I don't know what's wrong with it. But I'm assuming that the sudden loss of power did it no favors. It's actually just some permission errors on external drives at this point. I fixed everything else, but now
you're gonna get it down. You're Dave DuFour.
I know how to code. So
yeah. Have you had breakfast? We start there.
We can start there. My breakfast was cold brew coffee.
Oh, like Nick Van Exel.
Yeah, with MCT oil creamer.
What is that? Do I have to Google that?
MCT oil is it's like the big time fatty oil that comes from coconut oil.
Okay, but this is not CBD oil. There's no high associated. This is just all pure clean living, good health.
That's right.
Okay, that's good. Not to be judgmental either way. Whatever you want to pour in your coffee, that's fine.
I ate about 2 hours after that. I had some delicious leftover cauliflower crust pizza.
Oh,
it's fantastic. Actually.
Sounds good.
Picked it up at Costco and was dubious, but it was very good.
Sounds good. I made a joke about the Jurassic Park line. People have been standing in line for Jurassic Park since Saturday morning.
It must be cool to not have jobs.
Yeah. Oh, Look at you. Look at those protesters. Don't they have jobs? No, it's the weekend, Dave. What's fun? But I was thinking, what's the longest, Dave, that you've ever stood in line?
I'm not a line guy.
Not a line guy? You never camped out for anything?
No. As a matter of fact, my wife and I, when we go to amusement parks, we do the single rider line.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Because, I mean, I'm not going to talk to her on a roller coaster anyway, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, does the roller coaster go in the dark? Sometimes, you like a little dark time with the wife.
I mean, we don't have children, so.
Well, I know, but I mean,
right. I'm
not saying you're going to make children on a roller coaster. Yeah, that's pretty hard.
Hang on, but also, I mean, listen, man.
You're saying you have an asexual relationship. Is that that's what you're saying? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying I get all the dark time I want.
Okay.
Then I don't have to find.
Sometimes there's an exhilaration on the roller coaster.
Well, no.
Okay.
No. But also, like, usually you're at an amusement park and it's kind of sweaty and hot. Last time you want to be all up on somebody.
It's great. People look gross at amusement parks. I took my kid to the zoo on Friday, and I was like, man, everyone looks horrible here.
Right.
Like, no one looks attractive at the zoo.
Yeah, it's like, how do people hook up at, like, music festivals?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they're, it might be some of that, what was that MCT oil. They're on that.
Yeah, it's all the MCT oil.
No, I was thinking, I don't stand in line for food. That's one of my things. Like,
I'm not standing in line for anything.
I won't stand in line for an hour for if there's like, hey, this is a great restaurant, you got to wait an hour. I'm like, I'll go to a good restaurant if they can serve me now. I don't need to wait that extra. But I have stood in line. I camped out once for free Moe's Burrito for a year.
Whoa,
nailed that.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
I got it. Yeah.
Now, there's a place up the road in Austin.
Yeah.
Called Franklin Barbecue.
Okay,
very famous. And apparently the line there is just constant. By the way, I'm sorry about this noise in the background. My French Bulldogs have decided to have a full, like, no holds barred wrestling match.
That's
right
fine,
underneath my desk.
That's good. Well, I can barely hear it. I assumed you were shuffling papers or something.
No, I normally don't let them in the office when I'm recording, but with the AC out, I wanted to make sure that they could be in a place that's at least a comfortable temperature.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they are making me pay for it.
Well, so let's go to the game. So we got Game 5 tonight on Monday night. The basketball. Kevin Durant is reportedly going to play. I feel like this is a risky maneuver for him. Someone who is incredibly obsessed with like narrative and his perception. Does he feel like he has nothing to lose by coming back? Like, if they lose, no one's going to blame him. But if they win, he gets to gobble up a lot of the credit.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is 100% the deal here.
Smart.
I mean, I will say it kind of feels like the media was used to coerce him into playing.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of that part. Like, he didn't practice until yesterday.
Right.
The day before the game.
Okay.
And he wasn't even questionable for Game 4, and all of a sudden he's going to play in Game 5. Like, I don't know.
Do you think the Raptors should be forced to only play OG Anunoby against him just because that's fair, so they can both get their legs going, kind of warm up? I think that's the sporting thing to do. That's the Canadian thing to do.
Yeah, I do think that they're gonna put him in a lot of actions, but they're not gonna feel good about it. Let's put it that way. They're not gonna play OG, but they're going to go at Kevin Durant and then apologize profusely.
You got to see what he's got. I mean, if Kevin Durant's out there and he's not 100%, if Klay Thompson's still a little banged up.
But what if Durant is totally fine? What
if he's just resting?
What if he just plays and kicks ass like he was not even hurt? I'm not saying that he's not hurt, but I'm just saying, what if he just guts it out and is just 95% of Kevin Durant?
What if
just rules?
What if he was feeling nothing from basketball and he's like, I got to set the table. I got to make the obstacle bigger. I need a bigger challenge, a bigger rush. Let's go down 3-1 in the finals. That's how I feel alive. Like he was just waiting. This is like he's chasing a rush right here. He's like normal basketball doesn't do it for me anymore.
I threw it out there on Twitter that we'll know for sure by the end of this series or at least I guess we could be positively affirmed as to whether simulation theory is real or not.
Uh-huh.
Because if the Warriors win the three-peat with Kevin Durant coming back from the 3-1 deficit, that's like some serendipitous stuff, which just leads me to believe that this is all a computer simulation.
I feel like I'm morally bound to follow up that question with, if the Warriors three-peat on this and bounce back from a 3-1 deficit with Durant, does that give Durant the freedom to then leave Golden State?
I think he's staying.
Yeah.
Whether they win or lose. I don't know why, but man, for like the last 3 weeks, that's just how I felt.
But there's that Nike shirt that was released apparently that has him like listed as playing in Oakland and as having played in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that seems like the tip of the hand there.
Right. But also, like, I don't know, man. You hear the stories about him watching the game in the locker room and how invested he is. And like, I just feel like if that guy had one foot out the door, it would be, well, I didn't lose. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing a lot of like, you know, lazy boy psychology here, you know, from just picking up on who he is from my perception of him through the media. But like, he just seems like the kind of guy that would just be tuned out if he was injured and not playing, if he wasn't fully invested in his teammates and the team and sticking around, man. I really think he's going to stay. And I think Andre, you know, when he was talking about running it back next year, I think he meant with KD. Okay,
so he said we'll have the same core. He anticipated being here, is what Iguodala said, and so I guess you could read that however you wanted, though. You could read that as same core as like the initial 2014-15 team, or you know, I mean, obviously
with Bogut, and of course they'll go out and they'll get Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, and Azili's available. I think.
Yeah, but Azili rooting against him right now, so
I couldn't tell because Azili had that tweet against the Blazers where Azili's like, "This is the Warriors team we love," and it was like, "Oh, is this shade against Durant? Is this shade against the Blazers, who he was signed on briefly and never really, played?" I don't know. There's a lot of depths to the Azili tweets that I honestly the national media has yet to uncover. They haven't peeled away that onion.
Are they going to fire Steve Kerr?
I know they're going to convince him. They're going to convince him to retire because of his back. It's going to be under the table. They're going to get that guy. What's his name? Mark Stevens. They're going to get Mark Stevens to shove Steve Kerr down the steps somewhere. He's going to fall. It's going to be very dirty. I think that's the guy. That's the part owner. I think it was something like that. I'm not worried about it. Interestingly,
the Fire Festival looking guy.
Yeah. One of the things that's been most interesting for me about this entire playoff run is just like the run Kawhi Leonard's on right now. And to our eyes, he looks a little gimpy. He's still kind of limping around some, and it seems like he's not going 100%, but then he's still, dominating these games. And I was looking back to his stats from the last postseason he played in. And if you add up his entire postseason stats from this season and the 2017 postseason, it's 33 games. And over those 33 games, he's averaging 29.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's shooting 50-40-90. He's shooting 50-40-90 over his last 33 playoff games. And so now everyone is talking currently like, is he the best player in the game? And I'm in this group text. And someone in the group text after the game 4 was like, it's a guy who likes the Spurs. And he was saying, hey, now that we're seeing Kawhi do this right now, maybe win a title for the Raptors, does it then reflect poorly, or can we imagine the last few years of the Warriors dynasty? Should we look at that differently? Because maybe Kawhi's been the best player in the NBA for 3 years, and if he never gets hurt, maybe the Warriors don't even beat the Spurs in 2017. And I feel like this has been an opinion mainly held by like hardcore Spurs fans for a while, that, oh yeah, they were up, whatever it was. They were up 25 and Kawhi got hurt. And then, they lost, they got swept. And everyone was like, yeah, no one believes you. The Warriors were awesome. What are they were 16-1 in the postseason that year. No one really buys that. But now retroactively, that we've seen Kawhi do this entire playoff run again, and the numbers are still there, where I'm starting to allow myself to rethink it and be like, you know what? Maybe Kawhi has been the best player when healthy the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Well, he was the MVP that year, to me.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were arguing he was the MVP. So what do you think of that entire narrative? I immediately dismissed the guy in the group text. I'm like, no, the 2017 Warriors were incredible. Like, I can't even imagine what the 2018 Spurs were like with Kawhi because he didn't do anything. But as the days have gone by, the more I'm like, maybe this guy was right. Maybe we need to think a little differently about like what the Spurs could have been. So do you think it takes anything away or... No, I guess...
No, I don't think it takes anything away. This is sort of like, I'll talk about this. If the Raptors win this series, should they have an asterisk? No.
Well, no, of course, we're not doing that. Sure.
Right. You have to play the games and the people that are in front of you. And that's just how it is. And so I don't think it takes anything away from the Warriors to say that, maybe it's a different series with Kawhi. As a matter of fact, they would probably say the same thing. I mean, that game was different with Kawhi versus without Kawhi. Like, I don't think they come back if Kawhi's out there.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah, in game 1, sure. So I phrased that poorly. I'm not going to say, to take anything away. No, forget to take anything away. But do you think, is Kawhi maybe the best player we've seen, or is he the best player in the NBA when healthy the last, say, 2+ seasons?
Yeah, I think there's a big argument for that. I mean, last year, obviously, you just have to kind of throw it out the window. But I thought he was a top 5 player after that season that he should have won an MVP.
Yep.
I expected him to be a top 5 player last year. And then this year it was sort of like a prove it year. And he was fantastic all season when he played. And then this playoff run has been insane. I've got a stat for you.
Yes, please.
I looked this up because I was trying to find some kind of like comparison, like who's done what Kawhi is doing. Like 30 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, over 62% true shooting percentage, over 2 VORP. 5 players in history have done this. Manu in 04-05, Kawhi this year, Dwight Howard 08-09, and LeBron in 13-14 and 16-17.
Wait, Manu averaged 30 points?
30 and 9. 9 rebounds. Yes.
Per game?
Yes. That was the year that Manu should have also been Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy what he's doing. So, I think that wait, did I have that wrong?
What?
Now you've got me like questioning that.
Well, I feel like the VORP thing and the percentages thing. I'm trying to find a Manu Ginobili. There's no way Manu Ginobili.
I'm looking right now.
Okay.
Playoffs per game. Did I just come up with a?
I don't know.
Hang on.
It sounded really good. But...
Sorry. It was not rebounds.
Okay.
Wait, did I do per 36?
You might have done per 36 or something.
I must have done. No, I didn't. How did he come up? Because I definitely did 30 and 9.
Yeah.
You know what? You're gonna have to edit all that out.
I'm not, man. I'm not.
You're gonna edit all of it out. No, I forgot.
His top playoffs per game was 20 one year.
It was BPM.
Okay.
Over 7. But even BPM over 7, VORP or BPM over 8, VORP over 2, true shooting over 62%.
Okay, I'm seeing it. That's a good one. That's the 04-05 advanced numbers. I think it's more fun. I'm going to go to real basic basketball fan. Just give me 30 and 9. 30 points, 9 rebounds, 50% from the
Kawhi's
field.
Doing this
but the true shooting, it's all this stuff. Him getting to the line, he's now up to 5th all time in playoff runs as far as a single playoff run in made free throws, and he's hitting 90% of his free throws. The Raptors as the team are hitting 90% of the free throws so far in the finals. My big question actually from the Warriors is still like,
can't believe how bad I bungled that stat. I mean, it wasn't even a stat. It was a stat I looked up like days ago. So,
it's fine. No one listens to this show.
That's true.
I lost my train of thought. My thought for the Warriors has been Boogie Cousins and how he just fell off a cliff. Like,
well, I mean, he wasn't
did his legs die?
Towards Achilles.
Well, I know we thought, but obviously he's coming back, and we thought like he'd give him something, and they're like, oh, he's fine. Like he was out and he's fine. But then games 3 and 4, it's almost like you can't play this guy.
No.
And so I'm very curious, especially with Durant being back. Like, does Boogie play? Do they play him 10 minutes to see if he has it, and then pulls him immediately when he doesn't have it? Will they now finally like do Draymond at center? If they could do Durant out there with Draymond and Iguodala, will they do that front court instead of these? Have to play a Looney or a Jordan Bell or a Bogut.
Playing Draymond at center sounds great, except Marc Gasol, right? Like Marc Gasol, you can't have Draymond guarding Marc Gasol. It just doesn't work.
Well, I mean, is Marc Gasol going to get all aggressive and post him up?
I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, he should.
He's operated some in the mid post, but yes, maybe. I don't know. I actually think, man, the injuries in this series are the story. That and the fact that the Raptors have just walked into open threes the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But like Draymond not playing center is definitely because Nick Nurse is doing a good job of keeping Ibaka and Marc Gasol on the court.
Like I feel like the rebounding would really, be the issue, but it seems like as far as defensively, I wouldn't worry about it as much because if they're posting up Gasol and Ibaka, I mean, one, they haven't shown a willingness to do it, and even then, right. I don't think it's going to kill you that much. But I'm not, I'm cheering for the Raptors. So keep doing what you're doing, Kerr. I have a question. This is actually a listener question from our listener Jen Mess. She wanted to know if the Raptors would be in the finals this season if they still had Dwayne Casey as coach. If Dwayne Casey was coaching the same roster with Kawhi, you think probably?
Probably. I mean, like. I think that coaching, this is going to sound weird coming from me.
Yeah.
But coaching is a little overrated.
Gotcha.
And, there's a lot of people that are looking for ways to give Nick Nurse credit. And I think that Nick Nurse has been fine. But I think Dwayne Casey would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
At this time of year, it's, play your best players, put them in position to succeed. That's it.
One thing that Sixers fans have been saying, I thought I'd bring Sixers fans into this. They're pointing to, hey, we almost beat the Raptors, and now the Raptors are on the precipice of winning a championship.
So they're the almost champs.
They're the almost champs, but they're starting to say, hey, guys, this team that we were maybe down on like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe we were closer to the championship than we thought. Personally, I felt like the Raptors are kind of gaining momentum, gaining steam, finding their legs, getting better and better as they go, and I don't think the Sixers are that close, but what do you think?
I mean, I think the Sixers have some issues shooting and, guys being able to create for themselves that are not Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid. So there's a few things going on with that team. Like trading Landry Shamet, I think in like 2 years, we're going to be like pretty extra disappointed. A lot of Sixers fans know that guy's good, but he's almost exactly the kind of player that they needed, in particular on a rookie deal. So I don't know. I mean, they're good. They're really good. I think like they could be a conference final team. They could have made the finals this year if this team's chemistry had come around a little bit faster. The Raptors, if you look at them and the Sixers, they actually compare pretty favorably to each other as far as, they didn't really come together until the trade deadline, and they got better the more they played together, where Embiid was out for a lot of the rest of the season after the trade deadline, and Kawhi was out quite a bit for the Raptors. Sorry, my dog is being so loud.
It's good.
It is insane. Kawhi was out. So, and we watched them kind of, get better and learn to play with each other. And the Raptors have just, I think the Raptors are a step above Philly, but yeah, Philly's going to have to run it back because they move their chips into the table, and you can't just say, all right, well, we took a 4-month swing at it.
Right. I almost feel like it's bad that the Raptors have done so well for Philly, because I think several weeks ago the Sixers were like, all right, we probably can't break the bank just to keep everyone together. We can't pay Tobias no matter what, and we can't pay Jimmy no matter what. We might have to choose what we're going to do. But now that the Raptors are doing so well, I'm worried they're going to be like, you know what? We're right there. Let's just pay whatever it takes to keep them. And maybe you're right. They should do that anyway, just because they did push all their chips in the middle. And hopefully they can, if they keep Tobias, maybe they can turn him into something in the future as far as a trade or anything. We actually had an NBA trade recently. I was very excited. The Brooklyn Nets traded 2 more first-round picks. The Brooklyn Nets, who have no desire to ever make a first-round draft selection. I think they're going to go 10 years without using their own first-round pick. I'm trying to look. I looked this up, trying to figure it out, but it seems like they gave the 11 and 13 picks to the Jazz for Deron Williams, the 12 pick to the Blazers for Gerald Wallace, the 14, 16, 18, and the 17 swap to the Celtics. And then the 15 pick they swapped as part of a Joe Johnson deal. And this year, they finally emerged with their draft picks in hand and said, you know what, screw it. Atlanta Hawks, you can have it. And you can have next year's pick as well. We want cap space. So, Dave, does this trade mean that they think they're going to swing something for Anthony Davis, or is it Kyrie and somebody else? What was your take of all the Nets unloading draft picks as soon as they get them?
I think they've put themselves in a position to strike if an opportunity presents itself, and this is what good teams do. You know, they keep themselves flexible, and this gave them a little bit more flexibility. So, you know, maybe they feel like they're going to sign a free agent. Maybe they feel like if they sign this free agent, they may also, you know, have an opportunity to take a swing at another guy. Yeah, I think it's a good move. It's a good move.
Some Nets fans were getting mad at me for pointing out they're trading their picks. And I was like, hey, I'm just pointing it out. Personally, if they completely eschew the draft for 10 years and get good, I think that rules. Like, yeah, do your thing, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm out on the draft. I mean, we've talked about this.
Yeah, get good players.
Yeah.
That's why.
Who cares when you get them? I mean, I understand, like, you need some decent young players. I mean, having a guy cost controlled and cheap or whatever is, you know, you have to do it in order to compete in this environment. But there are ways to get cheap players that are not necessarily, you know, rookies.
Right.
And I think they've done a pretty good job of that. But they also have some really good young players. So, you know, like Karis LeVert's still on a rookie deal. Jared Allen's on a rookie deal. They just signed Spencer Dinwiddie to what I think is a really team-friendly contract. Obviously, D'Angelo Russell is up, you know, this summer. But, you know, you let him walk. You know, why not?
Do you think the Nets and the Clippers are going to outmaneuver the Knicks and the Lakers for these free agents?
I don't know. I mean, I think that I think the Lakers are gonna just fall into something, and it just from dumb luck or just
right.
from being the Lakers, right? I do think they're gonna wind up making this AD trade. For the Knicks, I think that they're not. I think they're out because, you know, all of my brain is telling me that KD's not going. I think Kyrie doesn't go to the Knicks without KD. I think Kyrie's going to wind up going to Brooklyn. And so then there's just no one left for the Knicks. Like Jimmy Butler's not leaving.
Yeah.
So
you can get
Tobias Harris isn't leaving.
He's not?
No, they're going to max those guys.
Okay. So we got DeMarcus Cousins and
I think DeMarcus Cousins
Kemba Walker
is the guy that the Knicks are going to wind up signing.
Malcolm Brogdon for $25 a year. What? Well, what? I'm sorry.
Maybe they signed D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I mean they should, right? Or the Magic.
I don't know.
I feel like the Suns, you know, they could trade for Dinwiddie. It seems like Dinwiddie pointed out the purple was his favorite color. Although he likes to play with people on Twitter. So
Dinwiddie and 17 for the 6th pick.
It was too late. They lost 7. They gave 17 away for cap space.
That's right. What? Yeah, my bad. That would have been an interesting trade.
I mean, yeah, it seems like it would have worked. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at the Grizzlies. Everyone's saying Ja, but I'm like, what will people give us for Ja? Maybe a good player. I know we have a good player in Jaren Jackson Jr. Maybe you know. Although
Jaren Jackson, I think, is a foundational piece.
Right. Like we have a foundational piece. I guess it makes sense to try to roll the dice on getting two foundational pieces. Because if you have two foundational pieces
job,
on
that guy?
No, yeah, I don't know. And that's a question for people who follow the draft. But I guess maybe the risk, running that risk that maybe he is worth it. Because then if you have those guys on rookie deals and an open cap sheet. But anyway, that's another podcast for another day. Dave, thanks so much for your time. What do you have coming up from you? Anything outside of the paywall? Is the paywall still down for the finals?
Yeah, the paywall's still down for the finals. So if you wanted to check out, although I felt like I was awful on this show, I got thrown off by having my stat wrong. I really did. It really like.
I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna bleep every name.
Steph Curry,
I'm gonna bleep every name.
Throwing behind the back passes there in crunch time because it was awful. Yeah, so we're the paywall's down for the finals. We've got Basketball Buds will be coming out on Tuesday. Nerd She Wrote on Thursday. We might have a champion, before we're doing these podcasts. So,
tonight we'll have a champion, right? Go Raptors in 5.
We'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to wind up being Warriors in 7.
Oh man, the drama.
The universe demands it, Keith.
I mean, I'm not saying the NBA would make $1 billion if that happened, but keep that in mind when you're watching these referees tonight. All I'm saying. I'm just kidding. I'm team ref. Anyway, Dave, thanks for coming on, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.
All right.
All right, thanks to Dave for coming on. Check him out on Twitter at Dave DuFour NBA and listen to him on The Athletic on their podcasts. You can support us at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Follow me on Twitter at fastbreakbreak. If you're in the Nashville area, remember NBA Draft Party at the Mainstay. That's June 20th, Thursday, June 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. You can stay later, too. The draft will still be on. But from 6 to 9 p.m., we'll be giving away some Grizzlies prizes at the Mainstay. And your first drink is free, courtesy of us. So come to the Mainstay on June 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fast break, man. You understand?